I'm bringing you two short articles that were published in 1862 in Arthur's Home magazine under the heading Boys and Girls Treasury. The first is called The Insect World. Children, did you ever think much about the wonderful world of insects which live and move and have their being all around you? Every little rosebush in your garden, every ripple of the little brook, every little zephyr of summer has its freight of these tiny lifelets, and a very happy life they would seem to lead. Imagine, says a writer, what fun it must be to tuck yourself up for the night in the folds of a rose, rocked to sleep by the gentle sigh of the summer air, and nothing to do when you wake up but to wash yourself in a dewdrop and fall to and eat your bedclothes. What king ever built a palace to equal a lily cup, with its pillars of silver, its capitals of gold, and its walls of alabaster, while over all the most delicate perfume is exuded from a never-failing censer? Truly, the minutest of God's creatures have abodes fitted up for them, surprising anything the art of man can produce. It is a very curious study to watch their habits and movements, and it will well repay very careful attention. Even the common spider, unattractive as it is, usually regarded is not beneath our notice. See how curiously he weaves his cunning web in a little corner sly, spinning it out from 4,000 little pores, and yet uniting them all into one gossamer line. How securely he attaches his tiny thread to some rough point in the apparently smooth ceiling, and lets himself down as lightly as a fairy. He vigilantly watches in his little secret chamber for the unwary fly, his natural food. Do not blame him, my kind little girl. He is far more excusable than those boys who fish merely for sport. God designed this way for him to take his food, and in any case, an animal cannot sin, for God has not given it a soul as he has you and I. Whenever you are tempted to get vexed with an unreasoning animal, check yourself with the thought that God has made him so, and it is all right. Even the little busy flies, which we are apt to think such great pests in the summertime, are of a vast service to us. A season when there is scarcely any flies is almost sure to be a sickly one. They are the most useful little scavengers, street cleaners, and house cleaners. If a speck of animal or vegetable matter is left around, how quickly a score of flies assemble and take up all of its moisture. Insignificant as the instrument may seem, we are largely indebted to this little scavenger for removing a great deal that is offensive and unhealthy. Even the smallest of God's works show forth his wisdom and kindness to the children of men. And the second piece I want to share with you is called Long Life. Long life is one of God's gifts to us, and a precious one it is if we can persevere our health and faculties down to an old age. There are some boys and girls I never expected to see grow up to be a happy old age, and foremost among them are those who are careless and reckless with regard to their health, who are intemperate in their habits of eating and drinking. A boy who poisons his system with tobacco, and a girl who disregards her mother's counsels by wearing thin shoes and improper clothing in cold weather are quite sure not to belong to this class. Those who give way to frequent bursts of passionate temper very rarely live to old age. If they are exceptions to the general rule, they are so unlovely and unloved that life is but a burden to themselves and all about them. It is found that the Society of Friends in England are the longest lived of any class in the community, which speaks much for their gentle, orderly manners and habits of life. Indeed, a violent outbreak of temper pulls down the system almost like a fever. I never got real angry, said most of the placid old lady to me, without being really sick afterwards. If you wish to live long, be temperate in mind and body. Be prudent with regard to your health. Rise early. All long-lived people, without exception, I think, have been noted for this. Take an abundance of vigorous exercise in the open air in all sorts of weather, taking care that the person is suitably protected. Be usefully employed through all your waking hours, and take pains to cultivate a cheerful, affectionate disposition, which will make your own life blessed and endear your society to all your other associates. Do not forget the first commandment with promise: honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long, and the land which the Lord may belong in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Ungrateful, disobedient children are often cut off in a most marked and untimely manner. Oh, remember this when you are tempted to disobey their kind commands.